Please don't wake me from this.
What's going on, legends? LGG Alden here. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today, and we're back with another Game Maker Studios top-down game development tutorial. So last time, guys, we worked on a menu. We created a basic menu with a bunch of buttons and initializing and all that cool stuff with it to make it a little bit easier to start off the game. This time we're going to be working on items and objects that you can actually pick up, interact with, and things like that, which using that is going to lead into the next few episodes, which is a hotbar to store the stuff, and even an inventory system where you can drag and drop things. But if we can start off with this and we get it good, then we can eventually upgrade and build upon it. So the simple item we're going to be using to set up the system is just a health pack. The health pack I have is half the size of the player. I believe it's about 16 by 16. Just a very simple item and easy to set up sort of thing. All this is going to do is you'll pick it up and it'll add to your health. Eventually, like I said, we'll set up where you can store it and you can use it whenever you want to. But we're just going to make it so that it can actually be picked up with a certain key, maybe like E or something, and then it'll actually just add to your health. So starting off, we're going to actually create the object. Now, we're just going to name this obj underscore health pack. You can name it whatever you want, depending on what your object is. You could even give it a little intermediate preface like pick up and then that. However you want to do it, doesn't matter. Set the sprite and all that. And then here's how you're going to do it. Now, you can set this up to be however you want it. I'm going to set it up so when you press the key of, I guess we'll do E most likely, just because that seems like a logical key to do. Whatever you want to do it, however you want it to work. Pretty much, if it's in collision with the player, actually, we might have to change this now that I think about it. Hold up. I don't know where I was going with this, but collision with the player. I had this backwards. I was going to do it the other way around, but this way probably will work a little bit easier. So then you're going to want to add a code script, and you're going to do the basic keyboard, how we did it for like the movement, checking the key, but we're not going to do direct, we're just going to do pressed. So if you press the key while you're on or while you're colliding with the health pack, just make sure to do ORD and then capital E or whatever, and that'll work fine. So if you're pressing the letter E, there we go. And then we can actually set this up with a script if we want to, just to make it a little bit easier. We'll just name the script SCR and then we'll say pickup underscore health pack. So this will add, or actually even easier, we'll do this, because taking in consideration, guys, that we're going to be creating an inventory system later, we should make a use health pack system instead of a pick up health pack, because eventually we don't want it to be instantly that it uses it. We want it to be that you can pick it up, it stores it, and then you can use it. So if we make it as a use health pack, it'll work a little bit better so we don't actually have to go and change it eventually. And then I guess the other thing that we just need to do is when you do that, then it's just going to say, we're going to say instance destroy, so you want it to go away. And you could even make it so like eventually these things pop up randomly, and then you can make it where over time they disappear. However you want to go about it. That's not really too hard of a thing to add. I guess if you don't really know much about timing and randomizing, then it might be a little bit tricky. But for now, we're just going to keep it simple. We could always add that at a later time where power-ups and different things spawn randomly throughout our game, however you want to go about it. I'll actually create the script for this, so go ahead and make sure you name it exactly how you had it. I just copy-pasted mine because sometimes I manage to mess that up, and then we get an error and we don't know what's wrong, but usually that seems to be the problem. So what this is going to do is this is going to add to the health. Now make sure, so if you need to go into, I believe we set it up in the init game now, we did, the health. So make sure that you have the proper health variable. So what you're going to do is you're going to just add to the health. So I don't know if you want to set up like a prefix. You could even set this up in the init game if you want to sort of set up what a health pack adds to it, or you can just make it add a certain amount. So if I wanted to do plus equals 3, so it adds 3. So this is just going to heal your character by 3. And it's only going to run once, so it's not like it's really much of a problem. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is one thing we can also check, is if I believe actually we didn't. So what we need to do, here's how we're going to do this, because if we pick up a lot of health packs, our health is going to go past the max. So we're just going to set this up here. We're going to do if global dot, I believe it's max HTLH. Let me check for sure just to make sure we don't mess this up. That it is. So if max, or no, well, it's actually if the HTLH, so health, is greater than max health, what it's going to do is, all it's going to do is just set health equal to, so you could just, actually, this just quicker than typing it all out. You can set health equal to the max health. It's just so that it can't go past it. So if you want the maximum, especially with the way we drew it out, it'll just fill up a bar and it'll keep going. Now you can set this up. There's actually a health bar script, or a code, like a line. It's actually like this. I believe it's draw underscore health bar. Yeah, right there. And it's a really complicated thing to use. And the only reason I'll never use those is because if you use a health bar, you can't have multiple, or it's really complicated to work with multiple. For some reason, you can only have one, and it's a lot easier just to draw it out yourself. Plus, you have a little bit more control over it, and you can set up a lot more stuff yourself in the way you want to do it. So now you can actually go into the room. So we're just going to go into room test, and we'll place out a few of them just so we can test this out. And at the moment, we don't have where the actual enemy... Oh, did I not set the script? Oh, wait, yeah, I did. I was just taking a wall. Whoops. Okay, so yeah, we can set out a few of these. As you can see, they're about half the size of the player, or like a quarter or whatever. And there we go. We'll just put out 4. Now, like I said, we can't go past the max health, which is exactly kind of how we want it to be. Now, we could set up even a system so that the enemies can take your health, which I don't think that we actually had that yet, but we might. We might actually have that. So you can go ahead and run the game, test it out. We shouldn't get any errors. If we do, we'll look at the spelling and other things. I believe it works. So do we... Oh, they do take your health. Okay, so never mind. I guess I'm just a little bit behind. So as you saw, it just went up from 5 to 8. Now, actually, let me take out... There we go. So if we're back at 6 and we pick it up, it goes to 9. So it adds that 3 that we had it. Like I said, you can make it whatever you want. You could even randomize it so that each of them are a little bit different. And then if we get down, so okay, so like we have 6. So 6 goes to 9, but also if we have 9, we don't want it to go past the max health. Max health is 10, so it can't do that. So it can't go past it. You saw it tried to go a little bit, but it canceled back and went down to the max health. Exactly how we wanted this to work. And you know, I think because we haven't done too much in this episode, one thing that I plan to do is I plan to make a in-between episode between this episode and episode 8. It's going to be ammo. So we're going to set up where like your character has an ammo count and how much, and you can reload. And then we'll even set up a pickup object for ammo so you can pick some up, use it, and all that kind of stuff. But also for this, the last thing that I want to do is we'll set up so each of them are randomly between maybe like 2 to 4, so that each health pack is a little bit different. So we're going to go ahead and create that, and then we'll test it out again. So going into your use health pack script. Now this is a basis of randomizing. So randomizing, I don't believe we used it yet unless we did here, which we didn't. All the enemies are exactly identical. We have no randomization to the game, making it a little bit more unique. So this is a really simple way to do it. And you can even set this up. Another good example is with enemies, like I was just about to kind of go over and see if we did. Because with enemies, the way it works is you can make it so they have a random speed, so all of them aren't the same speed, a random damage, a random health. So, you know, they're just a little bit more unique than others within a certain preset range. So the way you randomize is actually we're going to do randomize. So run the randomize script. It's just also what it pretty much does is it scrambles it up and gets a random sort of changes the randomness. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but it's a key feature in order to get it different every single time. So what you're going to do is we're going to create the variable. So we're just going to name it heal. So it's the amount that it's healing, and we're going to floor it. So if we put it to the floor, then it'll round it to whatever the previous variable, which is pretty much what we want it to be. So the minimum, or actually the way this works, and then you're going to put random. So this is where it actually runs the random. The floor part is just to keep it from being like a decimal of some sort. So we want it to randomize between however many. This is where you decide how many variables or numbers you want it to be. So if we want it to be like a difference of 3, so then you would put 3 here. So it'll randomly pick between 3 numbers and then add 1. Because now that we have the floor method in there, what it's going to do is it'll floor it. So if it's less than 1, it'll instantly floor to 0. And you don't want it to add 0 because then there's no point in it even being there, which, you know, that's obviously pointless. So if you add the 1, the minimum it can be is 1. And then it can go 3 numbers. Now 3, it technically starts at 0. That's why we could get a 0, and it'll go up to 2. So it's always 1 less than what you technically set the number as, which is okay. That's why we add the 1, and then it can go 3 numbers. So it can be 1, and then actually we don't want it to be 1. We'll actually set it to 2. Because like I said, I think we're going to go 2 to 4. So it'll be 2, 3, 4. It could be any of those numbers, starting at 2 at the minimum. So this number symbolizes minimum. This symbolizes how many numbers from that minimum it can be. Now, all you have to do, the last thing, is just set this to plus equals heal, and we'll test it out and see if it works. So here we go, guys. Now we can actually test it out. So let's see. So as you see, that one did 2. Now, let's actually get health taken away because I want to see how much this does. So, there we go. That one was 3. So, that's already different. We got a 2 and a 3. Let's see if we can get anything that's 4. Nope, that one was 3. We might not. No, we don't have a lot to check and do. Oh, that was 4, wasn't it? 5 to 9? Yeah, that was 4. So, yeah, as you saw, there was 2, 3, and 4, which is exactly what it should be. It should rotate between 3 numbers. Hopefully, that worked for you guys. If it didn't, comment below, guys. Comment anything that didn't work this episode, guys. And of course, as usual, I will do my best to help you guys in any way possible that I can. Next time, I believe there will be that in-between episode or something where it's going to be ammo. We're going to be working on a lot of stuff, reloading ammo, getting ammo packs, and all that kind of stuff, and ammo count, whatever we need it to be, however we want to go about it. But for now, I hope you guys did enjoy this, and I hope this worked for you guys. And I believe that's about it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to be a legend, and I will see you guys next time. Game underscore and then end. So basically, when you quit the game, it just closes out of it and it's done. So we're actually going to need a room to run this. So what you can do, now this is completely up to you, and room sizes are based on a lot of stuff, so it's important. Like our room size for test is this big. So what we can do is we can actually